the d block elements. First we learn about the position of the periodic table of these d block elements. The numbering you can see are of both types, that is Arabic numbering as well as the CAS numbering system. Here you find that the d block is present in the middle of the periodic table. They involve the periods 4, 5, 6 and 7, and the groups are from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So these are the D block elements. They comprise 4 periods which we label as 3D, 4D, 5D and 6D. Now the elements of the D block, we will see them each series wise. So first we have the the period 4, and the groups of the periodic table include 3 to 12. The series is called the 3D series, and the general electronic configuration is NS2, N-1, D 1 to 10. For example, if you take titanium, you can see here titanium has atomic number 22. It is having a configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2 and 3d2. So here we have the last shell configuration as 4s2, ns2 and 3d2, that is 4 minus 1 d2. So there are only 2 electrons in the d level and 2 electrons in the 4s level. That was the 3D series. Which are the elements? They are scandium, titanium, vanadium, manganese, chromium, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper and zinc. Now the 3D series is in the modern periodic table forms period 4. You can see if you write down the configuration of each element, then you will find that it is having 3D1 4s2 for scandium, for titanium it is 3D2 4s2, vanadium it is 3D3 4s2, chromium it is 3D4 4s2. Now for chromium, atomic number 24, you can see the configuration at the side, it is written in red 3D5 4s1. Now how is it that we can have 2 configurations for chromium? Well, if you see chromium atom, atomic number 24, you have by the normal Aufbau principle 3D4 4s2. But if you consider the half-filled orbital stability, D subshells have got 5 sub levels. They have got 5 d orbitals in that d level. So each of these will be filled with 1 electron in the parallel spin, and that makes half-filled orbital stability more prominent factor in contributing to the stability of the atom. In both cases, 3d5 4s1, the orbitals are half-filled. Next we go to Mn, that is manganese 3d5 4s2, Fe 3d6 4s2, cobalt, that is 3d7 4s2, nickel 3d8 4s2, and now at copper again we are having atomic number 29, so it should have been 3d9 4s2, but we can write that configuration as 3d10 4s1. So the d orbital is fully filled and therefore it has got 10 electrons, while s orbital is half filled and it has got only 1 electron. So the stability of such a configured atom will be more than 3d9 4s2. Now in case of zinc, atomic number 30, it has got 3d10 4s2 electronic configuration of the outermost levels. In case of the 3D series, we told that the inner core configuration is that of argon. Okay. So for argon, what is it? 18. The electronic configuration of argon is 18. So instead of writing out all the configuration from the 1s level to the 3D level, we just write argon in square brackets and write the remaining configuration of the valence shell. Exceptions were for chromium and copper, and we have already seen how half-filled orbital stability and completely filled orbital stability changes the observed configuration. Now, the valence shell configuration for these atoms are explained like this. The electrons first fill the 4s orbital and then they fill the 3d orbitals. A question may arise in our mind, why is 4s filled first? This is explained on the basis of the higher energy of the 3d orbitals than the 4s orbitals. Now another question, how can you know that? Have we measured it? No, we have not measured it, but based on mathematical calculations we see that the sum of the principal quantum number and the azimuthal quantum number, that is n plus l, for the 4s level is 4 plus 0, 4, and for 3d orbital it is 3 plus 2, 5, where n is equal to 3 for the 3d level, and since we are having the d subshell, so we will have it as l equal to 2. As a rule, electrons fill the orbital whose n plus l values are smaller first, and then they fill the orbitals with higher n plus l values. So it is expected that the 4s electrons will be easily lost compared to the 3d electrons that need a greater amount of energy, because the 3d level is at a higher energy. Now the anomaly in the electronic configuration is explained already, and that's why we had seen that it was marked in red. The oxidation states of the 3d series of elements is explained like this. First and foremost, recall what is oxidation state. It is a number assigned to an element in chemical combination. It represents the number of electrons lost or gained by an atom of that element in the formation of a compound during a chemical reaction. Now it can have a plus charge or minus charge depending on whether the electron is lost or whether the electron is gained respectively. So we see here the most common oxidation states for the 3d series of elements. Maximum we see in case of manganese, that is here it is plus 7, and for copper it is plus 1, which is the least. So the maximum is plus 7 for manganese and the least is for copper plus 1. Now which other elements will show plus 1 oxidation state in the 3d series? Is very less likely that you are going to get stable compounds with plus 1 oxidation state of the 3d series of elements, but you can see here that the plus 2 oxidation state is quite common in all the elements except for scandium. So from titanium to nickel, we find that they can all show plus 2 oxidation state compounds, and even plus 5 oxidation state is observed from vanadium to manganese. Of course, chromium, iron and manganese show plus 6 oxidation state, and the maximum is plus 7, as you can see in manganese. The compound, the element which will show the highest oxidation state in its oxides.